By the end of Crime and Punishment, Raskolnikov has confessed to murdering 2 women and has been sentenced to 8 years in Siberia. The strange thing is that his punishment began long before the police caught him. The story opens in the poverty of 19th century St. Petersburg. Rodion Raskolnikov, a former student, is broke, isolated, and increasingly obsessed with a theory. Perhaps certain extraordinary people have the right to break moral law if their actions serve some greater purpose. He decides to test the theory. His target is Alyona Ivanovna, an elderly pawnbroker he considers worthless and exploitative. Raskolnikov convinces himself that killing her and taking her money could ultimately do more good than harm. So he goes to her apartment with an axe and kills her. Then her sister, Lizaveta, unexpectedly arrives. He kills her too. The murder immediately destroys the neat intellectual theory that justified it. Raskolnikov barely takes anything from the apartment. He hides the stolen valuables beneath a stone and becomes sick with fever and paranoia. The police don't even know he's guilty. But Raskolnikov cannot escape himself. Enter Porfiry Petrovich, an investigating magistrate. Porfiry suspects him and gradually draws him into a series of psychological confrontations. Raskolnikov keeps trying to defend his theory while his behaviour increasingly exposes the truth. At the same time, he meets Sonya, a young woman driven into prostitution by her family's extreme poverty. Sonya becomes the person Raskolnikov trusts most. Eventually, Raskolnikov confesses to her that he committed the murders. But even then, he struggles to understand what he has done. Was the real crime the murders themselves, or was it his belief that he was entitled to decide whose life matters? His isolation deepens. Then there's Svidrigailov, a wealthy and morally corrupt man who's become entangled with Raskolnikov's sister Dunya. He functions almost like a darker version of Raskolnikov, someone who has crossed moral boundaries and seemed to have very little left to restrain him. After failing to force his way into Dunya's life, Svidrigailov kills himself. Raskolnikov eventually reaches the point where he can no longer continue running from the truth. He goes to the police and confesses. He's sentenced to 8 years of penal servitude in Siberia, and Sonya follows him there. Yet confession doesn't magically transform him. Raskolnikov remains emotionally distant, still partly convinced that his theory was right. Then he becomes seriously ill and has a terrifying dream about a plague spreading across the world. The infected believe that only they possess the truth. Everyone else is wrong. Society tears itself apart. It's a revealing dream. Raskolnikov's great mistake was believing that he could place himself above everyone else and decide what was morally permissible. Now, in Siberia, Sonya's presence slowly begins to reach him. He reads the story of Lazarus from the Bible and something starts to change. His sentence has years left to run, but his real transformation has only just begun. For Raskolnikov, punishment was never simply about prison. He was discovering that the human being he had tried to become was impossible to live with. He could escape the police. He could hide the stolen money. He could construct an entire philosophy to justify the murder, but he could not escape his own conscience. And that's the cruel brilliance of Crime and Punishment. Raskolnikov commits murder to prove that he's extraordinary. Instead, the murder forces him to rediscover the most ordinary thing imaginable: his connection to other people.